In today's lecture, I will be covering Chapter 22, High Performance Thinking for Professional Surfers, by yours truly, Jasmine Coleman Mays. Today's chapter topics will consist of history of surfing and its pressure, the content of competition thinking, pre-competition preparation, competition thinking, competition debrief, and then we will have a small and brief summary that will follow at the end. Surfing is known for its cool atmosphere, hip apparel, and its exciting waves. According to the International Surfing Association, there are 18 million surfers worldwide, made up by men, women, and children of all ages. Through its popularity and many participants, it wasn't hard turning this recreational activity in a fun, exciting, and even more competitive sport. Surfing goes as far back as Polynesian history, and it was there that the pressure of surfing began. Pressures in competition surfing is 1,000 years old. Spectators and competitors will gamble all of their belongings on competition. So we can see how this thing could cause so much pressure on the surfers of that time. Having someone's riches as well as someone's potential lack riding on your performance is a huge burden to carry. As we know, sports psychologists come in with knowledge of all sports of all kinds, and that could definitely be beneficial when it comes down to the enhancements of athletes. Yet if a sports psychologist wishes to become a surf psychologist, they must have an understanding of the key aspects of competition in surfing, which are physical, technical, and tactical skills. Without having the understanding of these aspects, it would be hard to enhance the surfer within this sport. There are 4 key strategies used by surfers that the surf psychologist must know to help the surfer prior to enduring competition to help them maintain focus when it comes down to increasing their scoring potential. And that consists of technical thinking, tactical thinking, positive self-talk, and mental rehearsal. Technical thinking refers to the maneuvers when it comes down to attacking the waves. Tactical thinking refers to the timing and positioning when it comes down to the waves. Positive self-talk refers to the confidence needed when it comes down to paddling. And the mental rehearsal refers to the planning used to preview what is about to be done when it comes down to pursuing your next move. Pre-competition preparation consists of 7 key elements that the surf psychologist and the surfer should know. And those 7 key elements are segmenting maneuvers to provide a focal point, potential sources of poor performance, the range of biochemical cues, determining which cues to use, determining how to use each cue, how much cueing should the surfer use, and last but not least, the use of technique thoughts under pressure. When it comes down to the execution of specific maneuvers, there is normally a breakdown between what is intended by the surfer and what is actually done. Segmenting maneuvers to provide a focal point gets the surfer to start to think of their major point scoring maneuvers as having a number of phases. Instead of thinking of a backhand cutback as just one action, it is better for the surfer to think of this maneuver as having 3 phases: entry phase, action phase, and recovery phase. When surfers break down their thinking about their maneuvers, this enables them to narrow their focus on the phase instead of the maneuver as a whole, which could bring about the execution that is desired. Potential sources of poor performance. Breaking down the thinking or focus is a skill that the surfer must develop, yet the surf psychologist must be aware of some of the factors that threaten this action from occurring, which simply are: the surfer simply does not have any structured thinking around their maneuver of completion. The surfer has problems with preceding or linking maneuvers as well as no structured thinking, or the surfer is distracted by the pressure of complete competition, is rushing, and has no structured thinking to use to regain control. Finding the right cue is crucial if the surfer wants to succeed in fulfilling the desired maneuvers. The surfer can use visual, kinesthetic, or auditory cue to self-instruct. The challenge is not only finding the right cue, but also the best way to self-cue or self-instruct. In order to get down to determining the cues that the surfer, along with the surf psychologist and the coach, had to identify the most problematic maneuvers, the most problematic phase of each of those maneuvers, the correct range of technical solution for that phase, the preferred technical solution, and the preferred self-cueing strategy for the chosen technical solution. While it is important that the competitive surfers have a clear roadmap of thoughts for major maneuvers while surfing, it is also important for those assisting the surfer with the development of the competition thinking content to understand the need to establish a balance between too much and too little technical thought content. Skilled surfers have the ability to execute a large range of maneuvers without having actually to focus their attention on performing those moves. The challenge is not to overload the surfer with these maneuver-related relevant cues to the point that there are far too many cues to focus on in the short amount of time that it takes to ride a wave. Surfers need to feel confident that they are able to execute fully the maneuver opportunities that each wave presents during the heat. Essentially, the surfer is pre-planning a number of key thoughts to focus on at critical times throughout their performance. The use of technique thoughts under pressure. Under this particular section, this is where virtual surfing comes into play. Virtual surfing is a tool used to assist surfers in training their technical thinking and holding their distracting thoughts. When I heard of this, I immediately thought of imagery, which brought me to the use of imagery, which allows athletes to actually act out or experience what they're about to experience without actually experiencing it, which is pretty neat and cool. We don't use it a lot, but when we do use it, there are actually a lot of things that come about it, and it gives them the opportunity to kind of know what's going to happen before it happens, which is a great tool used when it comes down to sports psychologists. The key challenge when not riding waves is to get to and hold the primary wave location. This places the surfer in the best position for when the set waves come through. Therefore, surfers need to follow a brief tactical analysis after each wave to guarantee they are at the best wave location at that time in the heat. Tactical thinking is simply asking the right questions. What have I got? How long is there to go? And what do I need to do now? What have I got relates to the wave score. How long do I have simply relates to the time, meaning that you have to pay attention to how long you have. And what do I need now refers to focusing on your whole environment as a whole and knowing how to maneuver to get done what you have to do. In the pressure of a competition situation, human nature seems to focus attention on all the things going wrong with a performance. Typically, surfers focus on the poor aspects of performance and the impact of the poor performance on their careers, even while they're still in the heat. It is so key to make sure that you remain positive and focus on instilling that you will get through it. You will make it through this wave. You will attack it. You will achieve whatever goal is set forth. Positive self-talk is key when it comes down to surfing. The use of positive evidence provides an alternative set of thoughts for the surfer to focus on when concerns about performance outcomes and subsequent consequences start to arise in the surfer mind. We need to focus on the positives. Evidence, the basis of self-belief, focuses on positives that have happened during the heat and positives that have happened before the heat. Overlooking these things would allow us to remain positive and see what we could take on into our next performance and add into our performances on a regular basis. After each heat, the surfer should review in a strategic and logical way what occurred during the heat. The performance blueprint, which was developed before the heat, becomes the guideline for the debrief. Did the pre-planned thoughts and strategies work? What went wrong? And what improvements need to be made? It is key to look back over your overall experience and see what you can walk away with that would actually help your next performance. Without doing that, there is no way possible that your overall performance can be enhanced. It is so key to make sure that we debrief at the end of each competition. Now we have finally made it to our conclusion. As we see, in order for a sports psychologist to become a surf psychologist, there aren't that many things that needs to change. Just a true sense of understanding when it comes down to what the surfer goes through and what the surfer knows. So I hope that you enjoyed my presentation, and I look forward to doing this again. Have a great one.